In this video, I'm going to give you the 7 major benefits of healing your varicocele naturally if you are an athlete or an entrepreneur. So the number 1 benefit you're going to get is you can take more risks. I probably don't have to explain to you the benefit of being able to take risks.
Whether you're an athlete, entrepreneur, or a professional,
or anyone who wants to deal with the real underlying mechanical reason why varicoceles can occur, regardless of if you've had successful varicocele surgery or if you've not had varicocele surgery.
when you want to make sure your libido, your testosterone, and your fertility are brought to the highest baseline as fast as possible, all you need to do are 3 things that fight against the pull of technology that is making us all so sick. The first one is you need to stretch out those muscle knots and put your body into a neutral alignment. Get rid of those imbalances. Second one is to strengthen your body in a V-taper towards a swimmer's physique because they are the most resistant to varicoceles. You must do this without putting pressure on your pelvis or your varicocele. And the third one is to actively heal so that whether you're walking, working, sitting, or getting ready to sleep even, not only are you not practicing habits that are making symptoms worse, but you're toning your body in a way that is making you more robust. Those 3 principles are all that I teach on this channel. If you want the fastest way to do all of these things, click the link, giving your libido, your fertility, and your testosterone the highest chance of being maximized. Now back to regular viewing.
The only case where I might need to explain to you is if you've had a varicocele that has so drastically affected your risk-taking ability that you can no longer remember what it's like. But a good illustration of it is right here. It's a slightly overcast day, but I've decided to do a video regardless. Now for you, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to take risks because you're playing a game that isn't as cut and dry, is not as well walked. Your path is a path that you have to trailblaze yourself in many cases to some degree, more than is typical for the average person. So the more risks you can take, the more the chance that you're going to be seeing an opportunity and you're going to say, wow, that's an opportunity, right? The more likely it is that if you're an athlete, let's say, for example, you are cycling or you're a race car driver or you are on the starting block, you're going to be much more likely to say, wow, I can win. You just have this, it kind of sounds a bit bad to say this, but you have more of a self-centeredness about you. You might be a good person, you might be kind, but you just put yourself first where it matters. So your ability to take risks is very associated with your sense of drive and lust for life. So it's actually quite difficult to separate the ability to take risks from a sexual urgency about you, a sense that you can penetrate the world and conquer the world. Now, why would your ability to take risks increase when you heal your varicocele? So the way it works is this. Your testes produces most of the testosterone in your body. Some of it is produced by the adrenals as well, but the large majority of it comes from your testes. The more testosterone you have is linked to the health of your testicles. Now, when you have a varicocele, what happens is it can cause a reduction in the health of your testicles. They might shrink in size. They do not produce optimal amounts of testosterone anymore. So this is going to affect you psychologically. It's going to affect your willingness to take risks. You're going to feel more fearful, less sure of yourself, less prioritizing yourself. And this goes into point number 2 of what happens when you naturally heal your varicocele. Took her for a drink on Tuesday. We're making love by Wednesday. I'll talk about a personal story here to sort of illustrate this.
I'm offering one lucky viewer on this channel a hidden reward as part of the 12K Chris Williamson challenge. Chris is a podcaster, one of the biggest podcasts on the planet. I believe his health issue he has recently talked about is as a result of poor vascular health, which my Ironman protocol can fix. If you want to win the hidden reward, scroll down to the description section of this video and copy the link next to Chris Williamson 12K challenge. The first person to get this link to Chris Williamson wins. Or if you raise Harms's attention because he also knows Chris Williamson. If he watches that link as a result of you messaging him, whether it's on YouTube, email, or Instagram, and he confirms as much, then the hidden reward is yours. So back to regular viewing.
When I was having the most amount of struggles with my varicocele and I didn't know what was going on, I just had less a masculine presence to me. right? I sort of what I wanted, but I kind of didn't. And I had retained, I come from a pretty high testosterone family. That's kind of shortchanging it. So I already had enough remaining, even with the varicocele, to still have missions and stuff that I wanted to do. But I described this before in a previous video. It was a lot like driving in a car and knowing that there was an extra gear that I wanted to reach, and you're looking for the extra gear and it's just not there, but you should be there. You just know that you're supposed to have it, but it's not there. So some ideas of it, some signs that you've been affected by the varicocele in such a way is that you don't really feel like you have a burning mission in life. Like you might be scrolling online and asking, how do I find my purpose? Like those kinds of questions, but you don't really know what your purpose is, right? You don't have this kind of masculine certainty about you, about this is what I'm supposed to do. As your testosterone rises from healing your varicocele naturally, as an athlete, you're going to know these are the goals that I have in mind. I want to accomplish these personal bests. I want to achieve this standard at the championship. I want to achieve this honor of what I've accomplished in competition, right? You might be a martial artist, you might be a race car driver, you might be a basketballer, whatever it is. Your sense of having a mission that is like titanic, when you heal your varicocele naturally, that will explode out of the gate. You'll be given a massive amount of energy. That was my experience of it. When I first started healing, I started opening up my hips a lot, and that gave me I started doing kickboxing and stuff like that. And just by opening up my hips, I had a lot of relief from the varicocele. I changed my diet as well. And that gave me a burst of extra energy because my body was just working better. So purpose is one of the things you will notice. The solution that I have goes beyond just stretching or just dieting. This stuff can be very important to do, but in my view, it doesn't solve the underlying problem. And it's a very slow process as well. And what my goal of it is not to just ease symptoms, but it's to actually cure the varicocele and move in the opposite direction. I always say that the ideal body for healing the varicocele is not necessarily that you look like it, but it's like a swimmer's body. It's a V-taper. There's a way of doing it that you are strengthening your shoulders in the right way in relationship to your hips. That's very important. High resistance way. You have to know how to work the shoulders in relationship to the hips and to strengthen the upper body as much as possible with the abdominals, right? And the neck as well. Now, what happens is it takes away the direction of energy or the direction of tension in the body, and it disperses it much more evenly. So let's imagine that your testes are like the sun. Quite literally, they are the shape of the sun. Now, not exactly. Imagine the sun is radiating energy outward. What you have to understand is that it's very simple to say something like that your testosterone increases as your ball size increases. Now, let me make it very clear. By healing my varicocele naturally, what happened for me is that my testicle size did increase, and it increased in a way that it cannot miss it. It just increased maybe it gained 50% in size or even more, right? Now, a funny story about that is I was in TK Maxx. In America, it's known as TJ Maxx. And I was looking in the mirror, right? I just decided for some reason, I kind of want to see myself naked. So I stripped down. It was in the changing area, so it's private, of course. I just stripped down. I just decided to look at myself in the mirror. I was shocked at that point at how much fuller my package looked, right? So my shaft was, doing what it should do. It was hanging. But my balls were much bigger than they had been in the past. And I sort of sensed it, because as I was walking, I would feel that there's more weight there. I could kind of feel it as well. But it wasn't until I looked in the mirror at that moment that I realized just how much bigger they were, right? And it's a subtle thing. It's a very subtle thing. And sometimes it can only be the person closest to you who really recognizes the change. Maybe you don't recognize it that much. You might not even realize. Maybe your girlfriend or your wife or your friend might tell you, you act differently, right? You're just more in charge, or you're more energetic, or whatever it is. A great cascading effect that you do not want to underestimate. Read some of the experiences of people that have had testosterone replacement therapy, and read some of the drive are obvious. You're going to have a skyrocketing in sex drive. Sprinter being in a lane, you're just going to know exactly what it is you want to do. You can be very clear about it. You're going to be able to follow through. So a sign of not having adequate hormonal balances that you should do is that you might start and stop something. you have a mission and you kind of start it and then you kind of stop it and you're not quite sure about it. You give up when it gets hard, or you get part of the way and then something comes up and you sort of like question yourself all the time. Instead, when you are operating correctly, you have, right, a lot of mental clarity and follow through, and you're less likely to backtrack. You're more likely to find reasons to do something. This is another way of saying that you have more confidence. You have more joy de vie, right? You have more joy for life. Number 6 is very related to this as well. Number 6 is energy levels. It's very important to be aware of these benefits. These are going to give you motivation to continue to heal naturally. And it's so funny because when your hormones are not where they should be, you can actually forget some of these things. You can forget what it was like. Just before this video, I ran literally from here all the way down to that horizon and back, right? And I was a little bit out of breath, but not majorly out of breath. Your endurance just increases. So I did mention sex a while ago. Your ability to make love to your partner, to your spouse, to your girlfriend, whoever it is, it will grow. If you've ever taken herbs like tonkat ali, or that can give you an increase in testosterone. Tonkat ali, not only was I just ferocious when I was doing kickboxing and when I was in the gym and when I was running and sprinting, but when I was making love to this lovely lady, it was just hours and hours, and there was basically no end. I had to, simply due to having more things to do, right? So this energy and endurance, it translates into physically being able to, and also energy when you're working, right? Your ability to work for long periods of time. Now, this is also the same when it comes to recovery. So your recovery may also show signs of increasing as well. As an entrepreneur or an athlete, you're working long hours, right? You're training, you're having to recover so that the next day you can go at it again, because the whole game is consistency. You got to be consistent about what you're doing. You got to make sure that you are able to continue on the track that you're on and push your body, right? Push your mind, push your endurance to its limit, right? And you need every bit of spark that you can muster for that campaign that you're on. Now, people really drastically underestimate the power of healing a varicocele. They drastically underestimate it. And it's a pity, because when you truly heal a varicocele, you end up with such an asymmetric advantage over the competition, over your weaker self, actually. Let's put it that way, because you're only really competing against yourself in some ways of thinking about it. You gain such a dramatic edge that the difference between having healed your varicocele and having not healed your varicocele, it's night and day. It's not the same person. Don't let this just be a bunch of words. This is life. So joy de vie. You have more joy de vie. Okay, more joy for life. And it translates into everything. You can alchemize it, you can transmute it into work, into competition, into racing, into whatever it is that your mission is. So to go over the 7 major benefits of healing your varicocele naturally, number 1 is your balls are going to be bigger. Your balls are just going to be bigger. You're going to find yourself taking risks, and you're kind of going to wonder to yourself, how did I do this, right? That's probably how you got into the career that you're in the first place. How did I even get into this? That spark, that extra sauce, that spice of life, that is what takes off when you heal your varicocele naturally. Because you're not only on a mission. Look, here's the thing. Now, this is not medical information, okay? I'm not giving you medical information. This is based on, call it bro science if you want, right? This is my personal experience that I've had that I want to share with you right now. In my personal experience, most people don't know it, but they are, to some degree, they have shrinkage from a varicocele, or they have suboptimal operation of their body and diminished testosterone as a result of a varicocele. They don't know it, but they have it. How do I know this? Because everybody sits too much. And again, in my course, I give you a very simple, elegant solution to curing your varicocele as fast as possible, taking a quantum leap, washed over the symptom, but you've now become anti-varicocele, right? You've strengthened your body and balanced your body to such a degree, so simply, only a couple of hours a week, you're now on the other side of it, where your body is actually working beyond what the average person's body does work as. Something's going on, something's in the water. In my view, something's in the testes is not operating properly. Something in the spermatic cord is not working properly. And mechanically, I know from experience that if you sit too much, which everybody does, if your posture is not correct, your neck is not properly balanced over your shoulder, and your shoulder is not correctly strengthened compared to your pelvis, I know for a fact that you probably have, let's not say for a fact, I know from experience that there's mechanically a chance that there's going to be a cascade of effects that will lead to you having some, even if it's not overtly presenting, some degree of a varicocele. And this will mean that your testosterone level is not what it should be. Fertility is not where it should be. We know that fertility levels are diminishing rapidly as well. You want to be as anti-varicocele as possible. You want to be as much in this side of the coin as much as you can be, right? And you might find that you have an edge even beyond what would happen if you just went to baseline based on what other people are like, but you went beyond what other people expect from their bodies. Do you want to go beyond what other people are getting? Do you want to go beyond body work at a level that is rare? Heal your body systemically, mechanically. Mechanically, you want your body to be restructured in such a way that your pelvis is working in the optimal way that it should be. The scrotum is working in the optimal way that it should be, and your testicular function is as optimized as it could possibly be. I've said this before, and I'll end this video with this. If you want something right now you can take from this video and apply as a first principle, number one, I would say click the link right now. Click the link and go on my course, and you'll get a simple, elegant solution that gives you a very fast quantum leap solution to this problem, okay? But if you want something that you can apply right now and just run with it, and that will give you so much power, so much bang for its buck, this is the ideal body type. Now, I don't mean you need to look like this physically at all. Underlyingly, the balance of muscle groups in your body, you need to raise it upwards towards your shoulders, moving back. The more that you do that, the greater your speed of healing from your varicocele. So those are the 7 major benefits by healing your varicocele. If you want the fastest solution possible and you don't want to waste time experimenting and figuring it out for yourself, you want somebody who figured it out. Stop wasting weeks and months and years trying to heal naturally. You just want to heal it. Click the link. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. Click the link, explore my solution, and see, talk to your doctor, talk to your physiotherapist, and see what impact this has on your performance.